Yesterday was a volatile day that came in for the Indian markets, given that it was the expiry end of the series that we saw coming in for the October series as well for the markets. So a bit of a volatility that we saw. Asian markets today, let's look at what that indication is there for the Indian markets today. Now, in terms of Asian markets, obviously Hang Seng is closed, but we have Taiwan index that's open with very strong gains today, 1% gains for the Taiwan index. When you look at the Nikkei, that's Japanese index, that has also hit record highs today. 1.8% gains as of now is what we're seeing for the Nikkei. ASX 200 on the flip side is down 0.7%. 0.75%. That's a downtick there for ASX 200. So keep an eye out on that. A bit of a mixed opening is what we're seeing for the Asian markets, because Shanghai also is just holding on to gains of 0.1%. Nifty implied open. Let's look at that. Almost 50 points gain is the last time I checked. Right now also, that's the indication coming in. So 50-point uptick is what we could watch out for from the Indian markets. But overall, we have a lot of cues that came in from the global market front. A lot of earnings that came in overnight as well. How is all this going to be impacting our Indian market? We have a team of research, as always, joining in with us to set you up for trade, tell you which are the important stocks to watch out for, as well as cues in the world of F&O. Now, before I go to Sud as well as Gaurav, let me at least take you all through what the market setup is looking like in today's day. Now, US markets, what happened over there? US markets managed to see good gains coming in. So, yes, strong gains that continued overall for the US market. All three indices managed to see those record high levels coming in. So, that was interesting to watch out for there, as well as what everyone was watching out for in today's trading session is obviously going to be overnight session in the US market. That's going to be the Fed's rate decision. So that will be key to watch out for, even for our Indian markets in tomorrow's trading session. So keep an eye out on that one. Nvidia stocks, that also gained, given that, obviously they spoke about AI supercomputers, building of that for the US Energy Department. So that is why those AI related stocks saw a buzz in the US market. Now, Indian markets, look at the FII number that's come in yesterday, 10,000 crores approximately of FII buy, while DII is also net buyers of 1,081 crores. Obviously, that was at expiry day, so maybe, that increase in terms of number coming in from the FI side, but that's something we'll keep an eye out on. IPOs that are opening today. We have Orkla India, that's the owner of MTR Foods, that opens for IPO today. Keep an eye out on that. Cues for today, we'll have PM Modi, who's addressing the Maritime Leaders Conclave. Keep an eye out on that. IIP data that came in yesterday was stable at 4%. NCLT will be hearing Vedanta's demerger case, so that is important. SEBI's proposal is going to be there, which was made to revamp those mutual fund fee rules. That will be important there. And earnings today, BHAL, HPCL, L&T, Mahanagar Gas, NTPC Green, PB Fintech Sale, among some of these important earnings. Nifty implied open, 50-point uptick, so keep an eye out on that one. But let's go across to Gaurav, who's here to tell us which are the important stocks to watch out for in today's trading session. Good morning, Gaurav.
Well, good morning. First, let's talk about Mahindra and Mahindra Finance. When we look at profit, it increased almost by 45% on a year-on-year basis for the company, and at the same time, net interest margins, they also expanded more than 20 basis points. Other than that, Shree Cement actually came up with weak set of numbers, because when we look at the margins, they came in at around 19.8% versus estimates of around 22%, and at the same time, net profit that also came in at around 277 crores, a bit lower than our own expectation. Jindal Steel, once again, weak set of number is what we saw here as well. Margins that came in at around 17.8% versus our poll of 17.6%, but at the same time, net profit that came in at around 638 crores. Happiest Mind, when we look at the numbers, net profit declined almost by 5.5%. on a year-on-year basis, on a sequential basis, and at the same time, when we look at margins, we saw a bit of an expansion of around 30 basis points. When we look at Premium Energy, now here we saw a good growth of around 72% on a year-on-year basis in terms of net profit, and at the same time, when we look at margins, they also expanded to around 30.5% versus what it was at 25% just a year ago in the same quarter. IIFL Home Finance, it's a subsidiary of IIFL Finance, and why this is in focus is that when we look at results, net profit that declined almost by 39%, net interest income that declined almost by 8% on a year-on-year basis. But remember, Mr. Girish Kosgi, who was leading PNB Housing earlier, he will be joining as MD and CEO on 30th of October, which is tomorrow. So definitely watching out on that. And let's also watch out for Tata Capital and Star Health on the back of the results that they have reported yesterday.
Okay, Gaurav, thank you so much for that. But let's go across to Sudarshan, who's here to tell us what to watch out for in the world of F&O. Good morning, Sudarshan, and a beginning of a new series. What are the important cues today?
Good morning, Vinny. So the last hour recovery that we saw yesterday was led by banks, and that helped Nifty Bank close in the green. And also, all the major indices, Nifty, Sensex and Midcap Index saw a huge recovery to close near flat line. Now we are starting the November series after big gain that we have seen in October series. In October, Nifty was up more than 4% in the second straight gain that we have seen in the series, and the biggest series gain that we have seen since June of 2024. Now, if you take a look at the last few November series, so if you just exclude November of 2024 and look at 2023 and 2022, in both those months, we have seen a healthy gain. In 23, Nifty was up 7%, and in 22, it was up almost 4%. Even rollover remains healthy, that we are seeing a rollover of 76% versus 3-month average of 81%, and FI long exposure, which was around 6 to 7% at the start of the month. Now we have closed October series with FI long exposure around 20%, and in October it was 6%, September it was 8%, in August 10%. Going forward, what would we focus? First, US FOMC outcome will come tomorrow, so on Friday we'll react to that. Second, if there is any development related to trade deals, and lastly, Q2 results are underway, so we'll keep tracking and market will also react to that.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Sudarshan. But